Okay, folks, welcome to another 8-bit face-off kerfuffle. It's been a while, haven't you grown? Anyway, this game, Cauldron, I was really surprised that I hadn't actually done an 8-bit face-off kerfuffle for this. I really thought I had. So anyway, yeah, Cauldron, what do you want to know about Cauldron? Apart from it being one of the most frustratingly difficult games in the entire universe. Now, I'm extremely lucky to be very friendly with the writer of this particular game, Richard Leinfellner. He's been on my channel countless times. He's a cracking bloke. And yeah, this was one of the first games that he wrote. I mean, the first game that I believe Palace Software wrote Palace Software didn't write it, they published it. The first game that they published would be The Evil Dead, again programmed by Richard, and again an extremely difficult game. I may have to do a face-off kerfuffle for that one, though I might have already done that. I'll need to double check. But yeah, Cauldron. It was released. It was developed by Palace Software in 1985, and it was released for the three usual suspect 8-bit machines: ZX Spectrum, Commodore 64, and the Amstrad CPC. So yeah, let's take a look. Right, the first version we're going to look at is the Amstrad one. Really nice loading screen. Now, I've not played, this is the first time I've seen the Spectrum or Amstrad one. It's got the same music as the C64. Now, right away, I do like the richness of the colour. That is really pretty. The thing is with this game, I've always said that it's one of the probably the nicest looking games you'll ever get on an 8-bit machine. You know, for an early game, 1985, it looked completely lush. It was just bollock hard. But anyway, we'll come to that. Now, I'm not quite sure the idea of the game. You're trying to find. I'm not quite sure what you're trying to find. It doesn't really matter. You're trying to find stuff. Now you're going to look at the top and think, oh, wait a minute, look at all the life you've got. And there's a reason for that, folks. And that is because this game is ridiculously difficult. You'll see at the top it says you've got the score, then underneath that you've got magic. Now the magic is it's your energy, it's your life. Now, I'm just trying to notice something. Yeah, it does. Now you'll notice a couple of things. Every, I don't know, couple of seconds it ticks down. You'll see there it's just losing. You're losing 1% every couple of seconds. When you fire, you'll lose 1%, and then when you get hit, let's see, I'm trying to see how much you actually lose on 54. Now that there does replenish your energy, so you're probably thinking, what are you complaining about? But yeah, just stay with me. So I just want to see, it might be, I don't know, anyway, it might be 5 or something that you lose. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, it's constantly ticking down, and it just means that you lose lives really easily. You can quite easily go through all the lives. Now I have to say, already this one, it certainly plays slower than from what I can remember from the Commodore 64 version, and I mean, normally, if I was playing this in the C64, I would have played probably at least one game by now. So this, I'm not going to say it's easier, but you die less. Now, when you're flying, your witch does kind of stay. You know, she doesn't kind of drop at all. To walk about at the bottom, you've got to land where there's a space. Now you'll see there, I tried to take off when I was kind of overlapping a bit of the background. You've got to land perfectly in a sort of empty bit of ground, which is easier said than done. Now there's no, well, I've just crashed into that. There's no music in this version. There is in the C64 one, but we'll talk about that later on. But yeah, I mean, graphically, it's a beautiful game, and I've said that to Richard on multiple occasions. If you had just made it easier, because it's difficult to the point that it's not actually fun to play. Now, Richard did say to me the reason, you see, yeah, to take off or land, you've got to be in a little space. The reason that they made it as difficult as they did, it wasn't a conscious thing to make it that difficult. It was because when he was writing the game, he was practicing each little bit over and over and over again, and so he just got to know how to play the game. But then he says when you actually put them all together, all the bits together, obviously it's going to be difficult. It's quite easy to play a game in isolation, play one little level over and over and over again. Of course, you're going to get good, but you try and put it all together, and it's a completely different challenge. So yeah, once you get a key and you go down into the sort of catacombs, you'll see it turns to a side sort of platformer, which was quite unusual for the time. It was almost like a kind of shoot 'em up, vertically scrolling shoot 'em up. Sorry, horizontally scrolling shoot 'em up, and also a sideways platform, which was quite unusual for the time. But yeah, colour wise in this, it is really nice. So anyway, that is the Amstrad one. Next up, it's a ZX Spectrum. Excuse me. No music, no sound when she stirs the homebrew thing. I was wondering if there was going to be no sound at all. Yep, it looks like the only sound effect you get is when you destroy something. There's not even any sound when you fire a bullet. That was the thing. That seemed to be a very common occurrence with the Spectrum. I don't know what it was. I think they probably thought that, yeah, that it's a beeper. It's extremely sort of primitive. You can't do very much with it. So let's just not bother with sound. But as we know with later Spectrum games, for all it only had a beeper, some of the sound effects and music that was coming out of it was utterly fantastic. So again, same as the I can't go that way. Same as Amstrad, and the one you'll see soon, the C64. Exactly the same premise. You're trying to collect whatever it is. Is it spells or something? I think I can't remember. If you want to know what you're trying to look for, go and Google it or watch another video. You're not going to get that information here. I don't really do very much in the way of. I don't do any rehearsals for these things. That's basically the way That's the way I rock. So the reason I died there is because I just snagged myself against a tree. Now what I'm doing here is I'm looking for a key, because you do eventually loop round. You can just keep flying from left to right or right to left, and you will eventually kind of loop round again. So yeah, you can see there, that's a door. So it's a blue, or is it cyan? I think it is. I'm a bloke. I call it light blue. You're looking for a light blue key. Now, I can't say I've actually noticed any key so far. Again, it's quite slow, which it's fine. It's not a shoot 'em up. It's not a fast-paced shoot 'em up. You'll see there again. You lose 1% of energy. I don't know, every couple of seconds. Now, I'm just waiting to see if I can work out how much you lose when something hits you. So 63. Now, actually, oh yeah, 62. Man, yeah, actually, 1% seems to last you longer on this. Well, it went to 61 quite quick. Right, I got hit there. Was that 5? Let's have a look. 54, 53, 53. It looks like you lose 4. So yeah, when you fire, you lose 1%. every few seconds you lose 1%. When you get hit with something, you lose 4%. So it's not long in completely stripping you of all your life. And that is why you start off with, I think, 10 lives. So obviously Richard and Co must have recognised that, you know, it's a tough game. We need to give these pathetic gamers a bit of a helping hand. Now, there's the red door. I've not seen any key. That's extremely weird. And I'll say this here and now. I'm lasting a lot longer on this version. Wait till you see the 64 one. Yeah, that is weird. There's the red door. So obviously a red door, you need a red key. I don't know whether some of the keys you find inside the caverns, but you need to get a key initially. Ah, there's a green key. And I've completely missed it. In case you're wondering, I do actually tend to record the gameplay part and then I overlay the commentary, hence the reason I can now see it. I didn't see it when I was playing. So I would presume if you get the green key, you can get in the green door, and then probably once you go in there, you'll then find another key. I'm assuming. Yeah, there's the cyan key, which I completely missed as well. I don't know what was going on. So anyway, that was the Spectrum one. Right, last version, Commodore 64. Listen to the little tune. It's rather nice. Yeah, it's very, very witch-like, isn't it? I would never imagine I could describe a witch type track, but that is very witch-like. Is it scrolls you're trying to find? Possibly, I don't know. Now you'll see there, excuse me, again it's got, the graphics are really lush. Not quite as vibrant looking as Amstrad. It does play quite a bit quicker. And you'll notice how quickly I'll lose lives in this. I mean, when you're walking along here, you obviously can't take off. You can only take off when you've got a little gap in the sort of trees. And so you're completely at the mercy of these bats. I can't go that way. So there you go. I'm down to 54% already. 29, 19. It's almost game over. I'm not even going to make it out here. There you go. 4%. One more hit. And I'm dead. Yeah, there we go. So full energy. Boof, boof. Oh, down to 74%, but managed to get some energy quick. There you go, I've just taken off and I'm already down to 66%. It's unfeasibly difficult. I actually don't think that this game is possible to complete without cheating. If somebody has done it, I'd love to see it. But I personally don't think you could actually complete this game without save states or what have you. So there you are, I've hardly started the game and already I'm down to 6 lives. I've used, 4 I think it is. And there seems to be a wee bit more inertia in this version, which does make it more difficult to try and get down. Now let's go along and see if we can find the key. I don't mind games that are difficult, they're difficult to complete, but when a game is as unfair as this, it's not fun. Now this one does play quite a bit quicker. So, and listen, I'm going to summarise that as the C64 one. The Amstrad one is really nice. It looks beautiful. It's very, very slow, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It does have, it doesn't have any kind of music when you're playing. It doesn't have that kind of witchy sound effect when you're on your broom. It does have some title music. It has got sound. Decent version. Spectrum one again. I says it obviously lacks a colour. Virtually no sound other than a spot effect when you actually shoot something. That is it. There's really, it could have been a lot better. It did seem to be easier than the C64 one. So yeah, C64 one. I think it looks the nicest. It's got more sound effects. I think it was the original version that came out. Um, so I'm tempted to say that the C64 version is the best version. They all do look nice, but I would probably have to say, the C64 one is pretty nigh on impossible. I think if you're going to stand a cat's hell chance of actually getting anywhere in the game, you would have to play the Spectrum one. But, I'm going to go for the C64 one. But anyway, folks, as always, thank you very, very much for watching.